Hello students, in this lecture we will be discussing about feedback amplifier. At the very beginning we need to understand the term feedback. What is the meaning of feedback? Feedback is something, it is a process of transferring the energy from the output of an electric network to its input is called feedback. So this is a process of transferring energy in any form, energy of any form from the output of network, from the output of the network. It can be of any form of network, any network. In this case we will be discussing about electrical and electronic network, especially to its input is called this is the process of feedback, is called feedback. So this is the basic definition. That means whatever, if we are having an electronic network or electrical network or any other form of network, if we put some value of the quantity from its output to get up to its input side, to be matched with the input, or rather we should say to be mixed with the input, that process is called feedback. Now, significant modifications in the performance of an amplifier. You know what is amplifier now. You have seen the working of amplifiers using BJTs, using MOS, something those devices. So, significant modifications in the performance of such amplifiers may occur if a portion of the output signal of the amplifier is fed back to its input signal and superimposed on it. So this concept of feeding back can be had in a normal amplifier, and the amplifier will then be referred to as, if this is made so with the working of an amplifier, then that type of amplifier will be called feedback amplifier. So in other words, we can say a feedback amplifier is such an electronic circuit, or rather in general we can say it is such a circuit where the output of it, the output of the amplifier is taken out as a portion from it to be fed back and superimposed to its input. Then due to this process, some modifications, some significant modifications are generally observed. Because of this happening, that output is taken and returned to the input to be superimposed on that, and that significance performance will be analyzed for this type of circuit or network or device, which will be called feedback amplifier. So our topic of discussion for this lecture is feedback amplifier. So now let us classify the concept of feedback. There are two types of feedback. So feedback types, it is broadly classified by two types. One is negative feedback and another is positive feedback. Okay, so now let us define what is negative feedback first. If the addition of the feedback signal, that means the replica of the signal or the portion of the signal that is being taken out from the output side of any circuit to be fed back to its input, if this process of feeding back the output into the input reduces the magnitude of the input signal, the feedback will be termed as negative feedback. So we can say the overall gain of an amplifier with negative feedback decreases. So that means negative feedback means output portion when superimposed or rather mixed in any form with input if this reduces the magnitude of input, the magnitude of input. This process then will be termed as negative feedback, and as a result of this, gain of the system or the circuit whatever we are using, where we have applied the concept of feedback, the gain of that particular system or the circuit will be reduced because of using the negative type of feedback. So in other words, we can say that negative feedback is produced when we are feeding a portion of the amplifier output back to the input in such a way that the output should be in phase opposition to the input. The portion of the output should be mixed with the input in phase opposition to it. And the result of this approach is stabilization of amplifier gain in spite of the gain being reduced, but still stabilization of gain can be achieved also. In spite of reduction in gain, the other property is stabilization of gain that can be achieved with the help of negative feedback. And extended bandwidth. The other property of using negative feedback is bandwidth extension. That means improvement of the bandwidth. Then we can say reduced noise and distortion. The other benefit is reduced noise and distortion. So we are discussing right now about the benefits of using negative feedback. So it reduces, one is, although the gain is reduced, but it can be made stable. The bandwidth of the system can be expanded with the help of negative feedback. The noise and distortion can be reduced with the use of negative feedback. And the input and output impedances should be modified accordingly. We will see that a little while later. So now, if we want to discuss the positive feedback, what is positive feedback? If the addition of the feedback signal increases the magnitude of the input signal, that means addition, or rather we can say the superimposition or mixing of output with input in such a way that it increases the magnitude of the input signal in such a way to increase magnitude of input signal, that type of feedback is called positive feedback. So what is the difference between the two? Negative feedback reduces the magnitude of the input, and positive feedback increases the magnitude of the input. So we can say on the other hand, the gain of the system using negative feedback is reduced, and for the positive feedback, gain is continually increasing with this process. As the positive feedback is continuously imposed on the system, the gain of the system is continually increased. So these are the definitions and basic difference of the two type of feedback. The negative feedback is alternately sometimes called degenerative feedback, and the positive feedback. Why degenerative? Because the gain is getting reduced. That means the final output after the application of negative feedback will be reduced because of magnitude of the input is being reduced. So if this process carries on, that means gradually the gain of the system will go down, and this is called degeneration. So negative feedback is hence called degenerative feedback. Similarly, positive feedback should be called as regenerative feedback. That means if the system with positive feedback does its work continuously, it runs on and on and on. As it is continuously moving, the gain of the system which is using positive feedback will be continuously on the higher side. That means its gain will be continuously increasing, and that increase in gain or the output, continuous increase of the output with respect to input, will be called regeneration. So the system which is using positive feedback is alternately called regenerative feedback. Regenerative feedback. Okay. So we have seen that the application of negative feedback reduces the gain and many other advantages. Hence, the use of negative feedback is most widely used. On the other hand, the application of positive feedback, because of its continuous increase in gain, it makes the gain unstable. Gain becomes unstable or may become unstable because of application of positive feedback. So this instability of the gain in the amplifier can be observed with the help of working with positive feedback applied in those amplifiers. And therefore, since the gain becomes unstable because of the use of positive feedback, this type of feedback is not generally used in amplifiers. So application of positive feedback is quite specific. It is not that widespread or mostly used like negative feedback. So the application of negative feedback can be found in those amplifiers which are classified under the family of feedback amplifiers. So in all feedback amplifiers, negative feedback is used, and the positive feedback is used for oscillators, for the design of, for the making of oscillators. So this is the example of negative and positive feedback. Okay, let us now move on to the next topic, which is block diagram of feedback amplifier. What is the basic block diagram? Let us see that thing. A feedback amplifier consists of basically an internal amplifier, that means a basic amplifier block, and a feedback network. So let us first draw the basic amplifier along with a feedback network. So this is the basic block diagram of a feedback amplifier. Now this block is the internal or basic amplifier and its gain is denoted by A, is the gain, and the input to this internal or basic amplifier without the feedback is used with it is denoted by, suppose, Vs, the overall input to this amplifier, which is the internal amplifier. The output is marked by Vo. So when no feedback is connected, now you can see this block is nothing but the feedback network, and its gain is denoted by beta, or sometimes it is also it can be written as B. So this feedback network is connected in such a way that the output from the output of the internal or basic amplifier, a portion from the output is taken as the input to the feedback network, and the feedback network is, after producing or associating its gain with that signal, producing the output in such a way that output is mixed with the input Vs. So with this output of the feedback network when mixed with Vs, producing a new input to the internal or basic amplifier which is different from Vs, and that is denoted by Vin or Vi, whatever. Okay, so if we now consider the whole block diagram, that means the whole diagram, this is nothing but the feedback amplifier whose gain is denoted by AV, whose gain is denoted by AV, but it is different from the gain of the internal amplifier which is having a gain A. Now if a load is connected, is required to be connected, that can be connected between these two terminals, and if any source is to be connected with this circuit with the feedback amplifier, then that can be connected between these input terminals where the Vs is marked. So now the symbol A as given in the internal or basic amplifier, it represents the ratio. A is nothing but the ratio of output voltage to the input voltage. Now if output voltage is given as like here VO and input voltage is Vs, so we can say that this should be the gain when there is no feedback used. But if we now consider what is the actual input output for the internal amplifier, you can see that although the output is V0, the same it is same for the overall amplifier, but still when the feedback is applied, input to the internal amplifier has changed from Vs to Vi, Vs to Vin. So in this case, for this particular amplifier, we can say that this formula does not hold. Rather, it modifies to, due to the application of feedback, it modifies to a value Vo divided by Vin. Because at the input of the amplifier, directly Vin is reflected because of this feedback, where this Vin does never be equal to Vs if a finite value of feedback is given. So the output gain is, it is the ratio of output by input. So output is Vo and input is Vin. So that's why it is written as A equal to Vo by Vin. Now if the transfer gain of the amplifier without feedback we need to consider, then we can say this A is called that transfer gain, because transfer means to compute the transfer gain of any particular amplifier we need to have output voltage at the numerator and input whatever, if it is suppose this is the voltage gain, so it is output voltage at the numerator and input voltage at the denominator. So this may be called as transfer characteristic, because in the ratio the numerator is the output quantity and in the denominator you can see it is the input quantity. So output by input means although it is the voltage gain, but we can say that this is also can be called transfer gain. It is called transfer gain because it is the ratio of an output quantity and an input quantity. So something is being transferred from input to output side. So in this figure which I have drawn here, it usually contains passive elements such as resistors, capacitors or inductors, with which the feedback network can be grown or can be designed. The feedback network here, if we see, so from this block diagram is showing a feedback network which usually consists of passive elements like resistors, capacitors or inductors. The passive element, all these passive elements will be constituting this feedback network, and it may also contain some active elements like transistors. But most of the cases the feedback network is made up of passive elements. So this is made up of passive elements for most of the cases. Okay, so the feedback network here will bring out a portion of voltage from the output. Suppose that voltage is denoted by Vf, which is the feedback voltage. So this is the feedback voltage. This voltage is taken out from the or extracted from the output. So at the input of this feedback network, suppose Vf is the voltage which is being taken out or extracted from the output of the internal amplifier. So the output of the feedback network here, it will be something, because it is having a gain beta, so the output of it should be beta Vf, as its input is Vf, because we know that input multiplied by its gain should be giving us output of that. For any amplifier, if the input is multiplied by its gain, output will appear. So this beta Vf is basically the output, or we can say that if we keep a check on the number of variables that are being used for the derivation of the overall gain for this particular system. So we can say, since this input to the feedback network is a replica of output voltage Vo, so rather writing Vf, we should be writing it as Vo, because the same signal is getting extracted from the output of the internal amplifier, which is denoted by Vo. So the input of this feedback network will also be Vo, because they are the same signal, they are taken from the same source. So this Vo, when multiplied by beta, this should be written as not beta Vf, but rather we should be writing as beta Vo, and this beta Vo is, suppose, Vf, and that is the output of the feedback network. So now what we can see, the voltage Vf will be added to or subtracted from the externally applied input signal Vs. So this Vf will be now put upon in this direction to be either added with this, so it should be Vs plus Vf, or it should be Vs minus Vf. So we need to compute Vs plus minus Vf at this place, because initially the input to the internal amplifier was Vs. Now once the feedback is connected and the feedback network is producing a voltage Vf, and that is being superimposed on this externally applied input voltage, it will be immediately changing the overall input voltage of the internal amplifier. So this Vs plus minus Vf will be nothing but this quantity Vin. So Vin is now the new input to the internal amplifier, which has been modified from the value of Vs because of the connection of feedback network with this basic or internal amplifier. So let us see the two cases. For first case, case 1, when Vi or Vin is equal to Vs plus Vf, the feedback is positive. In that case, because of this plus sign, feedback is positive. And when Vi or Vin is Vs minus Vf, we should be calling it as feedback is negative. Okay, so in that case the feedback is negative. Now the quantity which we are getting in the form of beta, that is Vf by Vo, is called the gain of the feedback network. This is gain of the feedback network, and it is alternately called feedback ratio or reverse transfer ratio. Why reverse transfer? Because at the input of this feedback network is taken from the output of the internal amplifier. So for the internal amplifier, the direction is input to the left and output to the right, but for the feedback network, input to the right and output to the left. So it is working in the reverse direction, the feedback network, with respect to the internal amplifier. So that's why this reverse transfer term is being used. And you know what is meaning of transfer? It is the ratio of, it is the relation between some output quantity with some input quantity. So this beta is providing us a relation between its output and input quantity. So it should be called a transfer ratio. And one thing you have to note, that for any system which is having some gain, whether it is feedback network with gain beta or internal amplifier with gain A, gain is a ratio always. So it is dimensionless and it should not be having any unit. So please remember this thing very carefully, that gain is not having any unit. So this is called reverse transfer ratio, or it is called feedback fraction. So beta can be called with any sort of name, or also it is sometimes it is called, but very rarely, reverse transmission factor. Okay. Now the whole system which is being shown over here in this diagram is the feedback amplifier. So this is nothing but the block diagram of feedback amplifier, block diagram BD. Okay. So now the symbol AF will denote the overall gain of the amplifier given above, shown above, the overall gain of the amplifier with feedback. Why this has been written? Because without feedback, the amplifier gain is A for the internal amplifier, but when feedback is applied, this I have already told you, as per the basic concept, the gain will be changed, and the new value that will be assigned as the gain of the internal amplifier, or the overall gain of the system rather, that is denoted by AF. So it is called the overall transfer gain of the feedback amplifier, overall transfer gain. Okay. And it is the ratio of output voltage VO to the externally applied input signal Vs. So what is AF then? It is VO by Vs as per this diagram, that is VO by Vs. So of late we will be discussing about this, how to derive this expression VO by Vs, or rather AF, from the given all this theory and data and the equations and the concepts. Now let us find the transfer gain of an amplifier which is called internal amplifier with feedback. So now our topic of discussion is transfer gain of an amplifier with feedback. Okay. Now the transfer gain without feedback, transfer gain is, we have seen, it is A. Transfer gain is A, and this A is given by This A is given by VO by V in from the diagram. Very simple. Now beta and beta can be written as, at the output it is VF, at the input it is VO. So this is VF divided by VO. Gain is output voltage by input voltage. This is the basic formula for gain. Now let negative feedback is being applied. Negative feedback is applied. So what does it mean? That this V in should be equal to Vs minus Vf. So this is my gain, this overall input now, which is V in, and it is changed from the original V in value to Vs minus Vf value. Now we should be getting, combining all this, that for the first case, from this equation VO is given by AV in. This is the first equation, and if we now put this Vi equal to Vs minus Vf into this V in, we should be getting VO equal to A into Vs minus Vf within bracket or within the parenthesis. Okay, now substitute for Vf. Now let us substitute for Vf the value beta V0 from here. You can see this substitution to be made on this. So this should be written as A into Vs minus beta VO. So what should be the new expression now? So when we analyze this overall expression, this AF can be written in this fashion. The denominator is written as 1 minus A beta, where this minus A beta is called loop gain or loop transmission factor or feedback factor or return ratio. These are the nomenclatures. And also the term which is there at the denominator, that is given by unity minus this loop gain. That means loop gain subtracted from unity. So if unity minus loop gain is found, that is the denominator term, it is actually 1 minus of minus A beta, unity minus the loop gain, or the term which is 1 plus A beta, it is called return difference. Okay, so what we have found in this overall calculations, the closed loop gain AF. So AF, what we have found here, is called closed loop gain. Now let us see what is actually the closed loop, or what is actually the loop here. This was our basic block diagram, and here you can see that initially when the feedback is not there and the system has just started to work, there is an input voltage Vs, and by the amplification of internal amplifier VO will be obtained, and that time it was just working, the amplifier is simply working and no feedback connected. So that should be called the open loop. So this connection is not there. So it is open to input side, the feedback, the internal amplifier, and it is also open to the output side. So that's why this gain of the internal amplifier at that time will be called open loop gain, and the relation between input and output considering the open loop gain will be VO equal to A into Vs. But when the feedback network is connected having gain beta, whose input is VO and output is VF, then the overall input for this particular signal passage through this feedback network, because of negative feedback, the overall input to the internal amplifier has changed from Vs to Vin. Now with this new input, the internal amplifier is still providing us the output VO. So the equation is should be newly formed, and as a result of that input change in the input signal from Vs to Vin, the overall gain of the system will be changed from A to AF, and hence this A will be called open loop gain and AF will be called closed loop gain. Okay, now why it is called a closed loop? Because you can see that the signal has started from here, it has gone through this, then the from the output a portion has been taken to be passed through this feedback network, once again giving to over this, or providing or reaching over this. At this point it will be mixed up or superimposed with Vs, so a new input to the internal amplifier is formed in the form of Vin. So this signal is passing within a closed circuit or closed loop. So a loop has been formed here, which loop means a closed path. So here you can see a closed path with these two branches, one internal amplifier and another with feedback network. With these two branches a closed path is created. That's why it is called loop. And since it is closed, so it is called closed loop. Now, so these are the basic terminologies: open loop, closed loop, and loop gain. Now let us see, once again look at this block diagram. Let us find the physical significance or the meaning of loop gain from here. If we disconnect from this block diagram, so source Vs and output Vo, only to work with this portion of the system, here it comprises of the internal amplifier with open loop gain A and feedback network with gain beta. So here we can see it is only just a loop which is closed. It is showing only just a loop and no input from outside, and no output is taken to the outside, only a loop is being shown. Now since from the name it is called loop gain, and this is the actual loop, that means by the term loop gain we are meaning that the total gain in this loop. Now in the loop is comprised of two amplifiers connected in series, one with gain A and another with gain beta. It is something connected like this. So we can say equivalently this can be drawn like this: A, beta. A is given the output Vo, which is given to the input of beta. Beta is given the output Vf, and this Vf is fed back to here in this fashion. Vf is fed back to here and it becomes Vin over there. So here you can see it is just a loop, simple loop, that is a closed path where two amplifiers with gain A and beta is connected in series. You can see in the in some later chapters or in some later discussions, or you can, for the time being, you can remember that when two amplifiers of different gains, or it may be of same gains, similar gains, are connected in series, or we can say it is the cascade connection, cascade or series connection of amplifiers having their individual gains, then the equivalent gain will be, if we combine this circuit into a single amplifier circuit like this, then this circuit can be equivalently represented to a single amplifier circuit of gain A multiplied by beta. That means when two amplifiers are connected in series, their individual gains can be multiplied to be represented them with the gain of a single amplifier like this, whose gain is product of the individual gains of the cascaded or series connected amplifiers. Now if this is A beta, because of V0 is same in between, so the input will be for the new overall system, which is the equivalent of this system. This system will be having input as Vin like this, and the output will be Vf, and there will be no point of showing this Vo, which is same between these two blocks. So this is the equivalent circuit of this representation. So that's why this is giving us the gain actually A beta, which is nothing but the loop gain with a negative sign in front, and that negative sign in front is because of only the only for here used for academic purpose. Actually for all analysis purpose and different calculations of numericals, we generally use the minus A beta within the modulus, and we generally take mod of minus A beta. So we always use the absolute value for different calculation purpose. This minus A beta is only taken for academic interest. Okay, so these are the different terminologies associated with the concept of negative feedback. Now, if we continue with the further analysis, we can say that from this equation AF equal to A by 1 plus A beta, both A and beta may be either real quantity, may be positive or negative, or it may be a complex function of frequency. Okay, so A and beta either can be real or complex function of frequency, but they can also be positive or negative. Okay, this thing can be positive or negative, or can be real or complex, the value of A and beta, the gain of the internal amplifier and the feedback amplifier. Now let us analyze three different cases. When case 1, suppose if 1 plus mod of, we are using the modulus for this denominator term, when it is the denominator, mod of this denominator is greater than 1, then what does it mean? If it is greater than 1, that means this AF should be less than this A. So therefore we can say, because denominator is high, so AF should be small. So mod AF should be less than mod A for in this case. So overall gain will be decreased if the feedback is used in this case for denominator is greater than 1, and therefore it indicates negative feedback. So the case 1 is if the denominator of this expression, if this expression is greater than 1, that means this gain is less than this gain. Mod AF is less than mod A, and it indicates negative feedback. Now let us see case 2. Case 2 is nothing but if mod of the denominator 1 plus A beta is equal to 0. What does it mean? Then the overall gain mod AF will be approximately infinite. The amplifier will be then capable of sustaining an output even though its input is 0. So when this overall gain of the amplifier with feedback is infinite, that means the amplifier will be capable of sustaining the output. That means it will be able to providing the output in spite of having no input. So sustained, in that case it should be sustained output without any input. So this should be the condition when mod of A beta equal to 0. And then the amplifier will be called oscillator. It will try to behave like an oscillator, and no more it can be called an amplifier then. For case 3, when mod of A beta is less than 1, then the overall gain mod AF should be greater than mod A, and the feedback will be called positive feedback in that case. Feedback is positive because the overall gain with the use of feedback is increased, and we know that for the positive feedback the gain increases. So when this positive feedback is detected, there will be great chances of oscillations to occur. So here also, like the case 2, chances of oscillations may arise. Okay, so we can say in this case, for the third case, since the overall gain of the amplifier with positive feedback is increasing, there will be great chances of oscillation. So thus positive feedback can be called to be accompanied with instability of the output, so which is undesirable. So the output in this case, output will become unstable if chances are oscillation are on the higher side. Okay, Now the amount of feedback introduced in an amplifier is expressed in dB, decibel. So this is the decibel. This is the unit for feedback measurement. Feedback measurement. Okay, it is decibel. In short, it is called dB. Now, if n is a quantity which is decibel of feedback, after applying the gain of the gain AF that is found after the feedback is applied, if we if we convert that ratio of gain into the decibel value denoted by n, then dB of feedback is denoted by n, and the formula to find the gain in dB is 20 log base 10 mod of AF by A. So this is the formula to find gain in dB or decibel. Okay, so now we can say from the expression that AF equal to A by 1 plus A beta. So now if we substitute from here in this equation, we may write this is equal to 20 log base 10 mod of 1 by 1 plus A beta. Now if the feedback under consideration is negative, here we know this 1 plus mod of 1 plus this A beta should be greater than 1. And since log 1, from here you can say, since log 1 is 0, this can be written as 20 log base 10 1, which is nothing but 0, minus 20 log base 10 mod of 1 plus A beta. So this is 20 log base 10 mod of 1 plus A beta, which is nothing but minus 20 log base 10 mod of 1 plus A beta. So it means, so n is equal to this much, it is coming. So that's why we can say that if the feedback under consideration is negative, n will be negative. So n is giving for negative consideration, that means 1 plus A beta, if it is greater than 1, that means the feedback is negative. In that case, n is giving us the negative value in dB. Okay, and n will be positive. For a positive feedback, when this denominator 1 plus A beta is less than 1, n will be a positive number. So in the at that time it should be plus 20 log base 10 1 plus A beta. That is for positive feedback. Now various types of feedback circuits exist in practice, but we will be discussing about some feedback topologies next in the next lecture. So now before I conclude this lecture, let us once again summarize the benefits of the effects of negative feedback. When the negative feedback is applied to amplifier, the first and foremost, the most important point is gain becomes stable. So stable gain, this is the first and foremost point, gain stability, that is ensured with the application of negative feedback with respect to the changes in the amplifier active device parameters. The second point is noise and non-linear distortion, which is a very disturbing factor for working with analog systems. Noise and non-linear distortion is reduced, which is a very important benefit with the use of negative feedback. The third one is the frequency response is improved in such a way that the bandwidth of the amplifier increases and the frequency distortion also reduced. So bandwidth increases and distortion, because noise and nonlinear distortion is affected on amplitude but nothing on frequency, but it has been observed that bandwidth is improved, that is bandwidth increases, and distortion, if any, on the frequency, that is also reduced. So frequency distortion is also improved. or reduced. We have another point, that is the phase distortion is also reduced. Phase distortion, so all the basic amplitude, phase and frequency, all the basic parameters of a signal distortion is reduced with the use of negative feedback. The next point is the input impedance increases or decreases depending upon how the feedback signal is combined with the externally applied input signal, and it is independent of how the feedback signal is obtained from the output. And similarly we can say about the output impedance also, it may also increase or decrease depending on the way how we are obtaining the feedback signal from the output, but it is independent of how the feedback signal is mixed with the input. So these are some of the very important points which can be shown with greater improvement or large improvement, and with the use of with the use of this negative feedback. Generally for the impact on the impedance, it should be seen that to have the impact on input impedance for this negative feedback, the improvement will be better or worse with respect to this application of negative feedback, and its effect on input impedance can be seen that it depends absolutely on how the signal is combined with the externally applied input signal. So how signal is mixed with input when feedback to it, to input, when fed back to input, and that is important, but independent on how the feedback signal is obtained, but independent of how it is obtained, and on this the input impedance will depend. Okay, but the improvement or disimprovement of the output impedance will absolutely depend on, for output impedance it will be just the opposite as the case of input impedance. That means how the signal is fed back from the output, it depends on that from output, but it is independent how it is mixed with the input, how mixed with input. Okay, so the impact of these two, the impact of negative feedback on input and output impedance will be just completely opposite as when we analyze the effects of negative feedback on the input and output impedance of a internal amplifier. Hope you have understood all the things and enjoyed. So we will be discussing about the feedback topologies in the next class. Thank you.